Alright, guys. We gotta talk about something that has kind of been driving me a little insane lately. I have become basically inactive on Twitter these days. There's like one or two posts I've made in the last few months, but for the most part, I basically don't use the platform anymore. I really can't see a reason why I should. It's in such an abysmal place right now that I cannot see a good reason to even consider it. But with all that said, I occasionally open up the site, and I just, while in call with friends, I will actively scroll through my For You page and look for the craziest possible posts, just to laugh at with my friends. And I found an account that is now my consistent go-to, I guess you could call it a lolcow, for joking about with my friends and posting their tweets to talk about how genuinely unhinged the person posting and the people who buy this shit are. But I haven't really talked about it on stream, and I've realized that this is some top-tier content, so I figure we ought to take a look at some of these insane accounts. And I wanted to just go through and find a broad variety of conspiracy posters, but I found that this one account posts so much and such a wide variety of insanity, I should try and focus on just this one. It's called Concerned Citizen, and their @ is Bill Gates is a psycho, or B Gates is a psycho. This account consistently posts to an audience of hundreds of thousands, and usually to tens of thousands of likes, the most insane conspiracies out there. This is the conspiracy theorist guy. He's like Twitter's Alex Jones. Although I think Alex Jones is on Twitter, so yeah. Everything that he does is a meme, too. He tries to play everything off as a meme, like his profile picture is, "You'll own nothing and you'll be happy." I feel like that quote has to come from, like, I don't know where that quote comes from, and I've honestly just not cared enough to look into it. But I feel like that quote comes from someone who would just, like, if you found out what the context to it is, you'd immediately think lesser of anyone who uses it. And I hear it said a lot. I don't know. Dollar store Alex Jones? That's a fair assessment. Let's take a look at the kind of shit this dude posts, because it is batshit insane. Obviously, we've got a pinned conspiracy anti-vax post, but it's a clip from Piers Morgan. I'm not super interested in that. That's not the juicy stuff this guy posts. I'm talking about the clips and the conspiracies. This guy starts like 12 new conspiracy theories every day, and watching people who've clearly never heard of it before, like never even heard of this conspiracy, instantly believe it in the comments is wild. On there, of course, we've got "no more money to Ukraine" in all caps trending because Elon owns this site. Let's go ahead and see. Maha means an end to this finally. So what is this that there's going to be an end to? What is it? Hold on, I just realized the music playing is kind of going to distract from these videos. What is it that they're putting an end to? What is it they're putting an end to?
Who knows where that violence began? See, I mean, I might, if I face you with a gun and I got orders to kill you and you got orders to kill me, then we can't really deal with each other. Well, you're a target and I'm a target. So you can't really talk about that. But you can talk about the larger thing, the much more universal thing, the reason.
Yeah. It's the chemtrail conspiracy. For those that don't know, conservatives, for decades, for as long as I have known, I heard about the concept conspiracy theory because of the chemtrail conspiracy theory. That was the first one I ever heard of, and the one in which I, like, was attached to my learning of that term when I was a kid, right? This is an old one. I think, what was his name? David Icke? Is that his name? Is he the guy who started this conspiracy? God, my nose. So itchy today. It was his name David Icke. I know his last name's Ike, but spelled like I-C-K-E or something. I think he was the guy who really popularized that shit before even Alex Jones was prominent. But yeah, chemtrail shit. They don't recognize that jet engines put off a vapor trail that looks, I guess, like a chemical fog, if you want to believe that airliners are spraying chemical fog on people to do God knows what. So a lot of the replies are equally unhinged, by the way. Like this one saying, I can't wait for RFK Jr. to get the Maha going. Ban this, RFK! Ban this! That's right, guys. They're gonna ban planes. Are they gonna, like, just start using, like, propeller prop planes in order to please their insane base that believes that the vapor trail left behind by jets are chemicals and demand that it be stopped? That'll really help out the flat earthers? True! Yeah, less people being able to fly on planes means more flat earthers. That's true. That's definitely true. Let's see, what else do we have here? This is a clip of Ted Nugent and Kyle Rittenhouse he posted. With no context, just this clip.
Well, you know, I went through this anti-justice system at the hands of Barack Obama. Barack Obama, you punk. You horrible anti-American, communist, Islamic terrorist. Well, that's going to go in the media. That's what he was. He literally reignited racism in America. Thanks a lot, Barack, and your buddy Mike, and your two fake daughters. And if I'm wrong, somebody show me a picture of Mike Obama pregnant. Show me a picture of Mike Obama pregnant, and show me the two daughters in their youth. Show me Mike and Barack snuggling their infant.
For the record, I was like 8 when Obama got elected originally, and like the right attacked his children constantly. So I, growing up, watched, because his kids are older than me, I watched as from the time they were children, like 10 years old, that they grew to be adults, still getting harassed by the media because their dad was America's first black president, and the Fox News media was hyper-focused on them. Yeah, they have a conspiracy that Michelle Obama is a trans woman whose dead name is Mike. This has been a long-running conspiracy. Like I said, the right has had a derangement for his family. So, like, of course, we know he's had a family and that he's raised them for, like, well before he even took office. But we had 8 whole years of the right-wing media hyper-focusing on his children because that was what they considered acceptable. That is the standard they follow. Like, yeah, this is just insanity. But the people who want this to be true will believe it in a heartbeat.
In swaddling clothes. Those pictures don't exist because his wife is Mike. Did you know that?
I did not.
Dude, Kyle Rittenhouse has been hanging out with this guy and Tobuscus and all of these, like, deranged people. And, like, yes, Kyle Rittenhouse did, like, shoot people and all that, but, like, what he did, like, there's a good chance he wasn't even that ideologically motivated. Comes out of prison after all these conservatives just, like, pay his bail. And now he is surrounded by, and his only future is continuing to be surrounded by, the most insane people in America. Like, you can tell that he is not as insane and deranged as these people. And you can tell from his... Listen, I'm not a body language expert, but bro, come on. Can we all agree? He does not want to be there. He's just there for the collab and the clout and the keeping relevant. He's not comfortable. You can tell he's not comfortable.
And the daughters aren't theirs. Well, that's a conspiracy theory. Prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong. What's this? Man, they love their Ted Nugent clips. This one is called... Can we find... So many of these are, like, so deranged, they're not even interesting. The entire world is awakening, and I'm here for it. No shot. Guys? I've been saying it for a while. They're getting close to flat Earth. Every day they get closer to flat Earth, I'm telling you. Every day they're getting closer to flat Earth. NASA is fake and gay, guys. Doge should audit NASA. Pick one. Is this claiming that the space station is fake? What am I supposed to see here? Oh, is it because they edited the horizon to be flat? Okay. Well, guys, you see that? There's the flat Earth. They're floating above it in space. Proven. Right there. They posted a video accidentally showing the flat Earth as they float in space orbiting said flat Earth using gravity and speed to create an orbit around a supposedly flat object. They proved it, guys. They did it. My God. I'm telling you, they're getting closer. Flat Earth any day now. Oh, this is a good one. Would you really be surprised if Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was indeed the son of Fidel Castro? It is one big club after all, you know.
Memories, the ones where you transcended the protocol, where it didn't make any difference. Would Cuba be one with Castro?
Oh, yes, we had a lovely time in Cuba. It was wonderful.
Let's talk about some of the people that you had your paths crossed with. For example,
a lot of these videos they post are like super overly edited with music and shit, and it's deranged. I wish they just played the audio. Okay. I fucking hate it. Yeah, it's pretty cringe. It's pretty cringe. What else we got? Man, this guy posts a lot. These have just been tweets from the last 3 hours. I've only scrolled 3 hours so far. This guy is a massive content farm. There's only one person on X who's more hilarious than me, and that's at Elon Musk. And then he posted this, an Elon Musk fan cam.
So,
I'm just gonna let you enjoy this.
This is so different. This is so different.
was there a question?
He's got like a cackle. It's a very awkward cackle. Let's see. Green trees with thick bark are hard to burn, apparently. Even in the most extreme fire, generated heat, which is capable of completely leveling concrete structures to the ground and turning metal into liquid. Imagine not even being slightly suspicious. And so basically what they're trying to claim with this one is that there were no fires, and that the houses were bombed. Because they're like, okay, so here's LA when a fire happened in the past, where you can literally see trees fully intact and not burned and lawns fully intact and not burned. Here's Paradise, where you can see unburned trees and you can see green that's not burned. And then here's Maui, where you can see green and trees that are not burned among the fire, because they don't understand how fire works. And so they're trying to claim that that the fires were faked because the surrounding areas are not burned enough, but the houses are demolished with fire. Holy shit, Trump just exposed the entire money laundering fraud scam for 4 minutes straight. So here's Trump debunking, or I guess exposing,
That's just that.
the money laundering fraud.
Where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second. $520 million for a consultant on the environment.
Shouldn't have
It's
that, of
called
course.
Environmental, Social, and Governance Investments
gotta destroy the planet.
in Africa. And
That's not good. What does Africa have to offer us? That's as Trump likes to say. Africa is what Trump likes to call a shithole country.
mobilize private sector resources, $520 million. Somebody got $520 million for an environmental, sounds like an environmental study. It's the most, I've always been.
Okay, he's so retarded. He's so retarded. He's so retarded that I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. I wish YouTube let me say slurs, to be honest, because at this point, regardless of how you guys felt about it, I would be using some nasty words to describe these people if YouTube didn't care. Oh boy, would I be using some nasty words. Words that old Twitter would not like. Please, God, not the eggs. Anything but eggs. Leave the eggs alone, for fuck's sake. Oh, do you think this is a post about the fact that eggs in some places have gotten literally over $1 an egg? I thought there was no way. There's no way they hit $1 an egg. $12 a dozen is insane. The eggs around here are currently going for $12.20 per carton. That is just barely over $1 an egg. That is actually fucking insane. You may be thinking, oh, maybe he's talking about the fact that eggs are in some places outright unavailable, if not overpriced as fuck. Let's see what he's talking about.
So, this morning,
Oh.
I got out eggs to make for my kids.
So, I've made eggs many times. Many times. I'm a big egg guy. There's a big reason I want to raise quail and have my own home, egg factory, basically. If you've made eggs, then you have either this is saran wrap that she put over her eggs, but it honestly doesn't look like that. It looks like the kind of dry, you know how the inside of an egg shell has a little, film in it? I'm pretty sure when you break that down and you crack it open, it can, cook over into a dried little film. And you can pull it out or you can eat it. But if has no one here ever had eggs where they've got, that little, almost clear, flaky... Zan is an egg guy, confirmed and clipped. Okay, you guys are really reaching there with that clip, but okay. Whatever you guys need, alright? Whatever you can get. That's the shell membrane, I think. I don't make eggs often. Usually, though, you don't see it on the top. You see it on the bottom. Usually it's when you flip your eggs after, you've cracked them and you've got them sitting there. I usually see it with Over Easy, when I make Over Easy. You crack them onto the pan, and then you flip it, and the underside, where you had just been cooking it, has, it can crisp over. A lot of it is the temperature you cook the eggs at. That or she just put saran wrap on here, because that is an absurd amount, to be fair.
And first, let me take you to the batch I cooked prior. All right. Do you notice this? It was green.
What?
Never seen eggs
What?
that have this green tint to it. And at first I thought it was my eyes, so I added more eggs and they came out clear. So then I was thinking, no, something's wrong with the coloring. Maybe the eggs are no good. Maybe that's what's wrong with it. Look at this. I put the eggs directly in without any butter. This is a ceramic pan.
Yeah.
And hear this. Does that sound like plastic to you?
Oh wait, no, it is that film shit that eggs can make whenever you cook Over Easy. The way it crinkles like that and crumbles, it's not plastic. No, it's not plastic, Perry Icefire. Oh, here it is. It is actually a protein membrane, which is a natural part of the egg and acts as a protective layer around both the yolk and egg. Yeah, we know about that, but I'm talking about when it's cooked. I honestly feel like it'd be faster to cook an egg right now on stream if I could somehow transport it. Alright. Actually, this image is very good to kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about here. So she was making Over Easy, or Sunny Side Up eggs, which are some of my favorites, okay? I love Sunny Side Up eggs. But when you make sunny side up eggs, it's going to look a lot like this. You're going to crack the egg open, you're going to drop them into the pan, and depending on the temperature of your pan, it's a bit of a situation similar to if you put a water bottle into your freezer and you let it get to the exact right temperature, and then you take it out and hit it against a counter, it can just insta-freeze. Sometimes when you introduce the egg at a certain temperature to a pan of a certain temperature, and maybe the egg is a certain age, there's a lot of factors that can play into it, because I've seen really firm eggs that stay in like a really tight kind of gathering, and then when they get older, they can sometimes kind of get a little runnier whenever you crack them into the pan. Butter, yep, good point, sniff no leads. Whether or not you use like a pan spray or butter can play a big part in this. But when you crack the egg, if the pan is so hot that the egg whites cook on contact, as you can see, it can kind of spill out from under the pile of cooked egg. And this little bit sticking out here is kind of thick, but it can be thin. Like, it can be a nearly clear, runny film almost that comes out, instantly cooks, then dries, and it can just kind of create, it's not all the way through the egg, but it'll be along the edges. You'll have this kind of clear film that'll peel up away from the edges. I'm going to see if I can find a better example of this. I know this is like an insane stun lock for such a stupid conspiracy about egg plastic, like plastic wrap in the eggs or whatever. If you see what looks like plastic wrap in your eggs, it's most likely not actual plastic wrap, but rather a thickened layer of the egg white's protein membrane, which can sometimes appear plastic-like when cooked, especially if the egg was very fresh. Okay, so fresh, or stored for a long time. So if it's fresh, like very fresh, or quite old, this is usually harmless and safe to eat. This plastic-like appearance is not plastic wrap, but accidentally got into the egg. That accidentally got into the egg, but a natural part of the egg structure. Sometimes prolonged refrigeration can cause this protein membrane to thicken, leading to the plastic-like texture. If you suspect something is wrong, look for other signs like discoloration, unusual smell, or visible damage to the eggshells. Discoloration, you say? So she is using old fucking eggs to feed her kids. She pointed out was discolored. That is doing the thing that would seem to indicate they're old. And they're kind of like, listen, guys, if you make eggs, these are definitely not fresh. They're not rotten looking, but they're not fresh, you know? Like, look at that. They're melting in that pan. They've got no viscosity to them at all. Those are not fresh eggs. I think she's giving her kids bad eggs, or was going to give her kids bad eggs, and now she's thinking that they're... I'm glad that, even if it's an insane conspiracy theory, honestly, at least she probably didn't give these eggs to her kids, because they probably would have made her kids sick, to be honest. Maybe not, especially if she cooked them well, but, like, the discoloration, I didn't really notice it, but she seemed to notice it, and cameras might not show it much, and the fact that the egg protein, the egg white protein, is doing that, seems to indicate they're a bit old. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Conspiracy theory debunked. This tweet says, meanwhile in Austria, Austrians take to the streets in protest of the 14-year-old boy stabbed to death this week by a Syrian migrant. Europe has simply had enough. The revolution is coming, and it will not be televised. So, they're protesting a random person murdering another random person? Or are they protesting immigration policy? Why can't they ever be honest about it? They're not protesting the death of a child. They're protesting the immigration policy, and they blame that policy on that child's death. Very nice. What else we got? A laboratory in Florida tested samples of the recent mysterious fog that engulfed America and found it to contain a bacteria called Serratia mersensens. I don't know, like MRSA? After exposure, thousands of people took to social media claiming various symptoms. Probably not a coincidence. That's right, guys. This guy's been posting a lot of these videos, and the rest of Twitter has too. The fog is coming, guys. There is this fog that has been spotted all over America that has been making people sick. They're calling it fogvid, like COVID, but fog. I am letting you guys see what the world is currently on right now. If they're still on Twitter. If you're still on Twitter, this is the kind of shit you're engaging with and seeing on a daily basis. Remember, all these Twitter posters get paid for the engagement and the views on their posts. They make money off of these lies. The more insane that these lies get, the more views and the more money they make off of them. They have a very strong profit incentive in modern Twitter to do this. This video is called Delta Airlines, powered by DEI. That's probably copyrighted. How dare the stewardess be hot? Unthinkable. A hot stewardess? Never heard of. Unthinkable. Unacceptable. When I go on a plane, I want Cletus, the meth head from down the lane, to hand me my drink and my bag of peanuts, okay? Not some hot, like uniform wearing lady. Like, who wants that? That's DEI, folks. Those are just your average airport employees? Yeah, it's they're literally insane. Rumors are rife throughout Washington that Doge have just uncovered a NASA contract worth $6.8 trillion, direct with a hairspray manufacturer. Guys, they're gonna prove the ISS videos are fake.
One thing that gives away the International Space Station hoax is the women. Now, women on zero-G planes with long hair, their hair flows naturally.
Parabolic flights do not literally simulate microgravity. That's not what they do. They are really cool, and it's definitely a lot like microgravity. It gives you that vibe. You can have like a very similar experience. There's a video. In fact, this is one of my, actually I think my favorite music video ever. I wish I could play the music, but we'll get so copyrighted. It's a song by OK Go called Upside Down and Inside Out. Let me mute that really fast. But they did a music video on a parabolic flight, and you can see that they bring out like different props to have float around as they, basically what the plane is doing is it's climbing and then falling and just letting itself fall, and then climbing again and then letting itself fall. And they're speeding up and slowing down the video to extend the parts of it in which they are in zero-G. Now, zero-G is not really a thing. The term is microgravity. Everything in space is affected by the gravity of something else. There is no such thing as a zero gravity. But in the orbit of the space station, you are so far out and going so fast that you are not entirely unaffected by the downward pull of the Earth, but you are nearly unaffected. So much so to the point where you literally, if you do it right, you can get stuck floating with no recourse in the middle of the halls of the ISS. Some of the halls are wide enough that if you don't have momentum, if you stop your momentum, like in a very, like it's very hard to do because you keep your momentum for the most part. But if you barely nudge yourself off, it can be really hard to reach something and pull yourself, and you'll just be stuck there. Like, you can't swim through the air. There's barely any air friction, and so you'll just be like clawing at the air trying to reach something, but you're stuck. There's a video of that, not in the ISS, but I think in the Chinese space station, and it becomes very, very hard to get around in that situation. Like, it looks scary. It looks scary to be like the unlucky guy who gets stuck floating in the middle of the hallway and someone needs to come push him towards a wall or push him towards a floor or the ceiling. And so that is completely different from this, where they're actively getting pushed around. Like, they can't just float in this situation. This is not real microgravity. See, everything is flying somewhere because everything is falling or getting pushed up. Everything's got different, like, velocities, and nothing can just sit there still. So they're not actually in microgravity. You can't just float something in front of you doing this. It's very similar. It's very cool, but not the same. Also, I feel I should point out, women's hair is a bit different from men's hair, and that most men like to keep it high and tight and like use the same soap they wash their balls with on their hair. And no one cares, no one notices, tends not to be a big problem. Women, on the other hand, tend to use a lot of products that provide them with the effects that we typically associate with long women's hair, right? On the ISS, a lot of those products are reduced down to like dry powder, not even powder, but it's like a dry, pasty kind of soap that everyone uses. No one up there looks good. Everyone's kind of a little greasy, a little gross, not a lot of frequent showering and stuff. So everyone's hair is greasy and kind of icky, and there's no volume. It hasn't been moisturized all that well. Like, no one's hair up there is in a good spot. It's either dry or it's greasy.
Is the women. Now, women on zero-G planes with long hair, their hair flows naturally in the air. Women on the International Space Station, because this is all fraud, no matter what she does, no matter how she bounces around, you would expect her hair to flow in the air, and it does not happen. Their hair will never look like that, because one thing that gives away...
One thing I love about this shit is like the laughing crying emoji gift, the debunked, and like the awful microphone that's probably like a iPhone earbud mic that he's holding up to his mouth like this, and then the clown emoji. Like, it's this combination of wrong, insane, hateful, and accusatory, and low IQ that perfectly encapsulates the vibe of like the conservative culture that's taken over today. Like, we're stupid, ignorant, proud, and we will shame you for not being the same. That really just kind of sums up their entire movement. What else we got here? You are the carbon they want to reduce. Oh shit, guys. We're the carbon they want to reduce.
Reducing population growth, that's this big benefit. The key thing you can do to reduce population growth is actually improve health.
In the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations.
I would like to reduce the number of people on the planet because there's too many of us.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population...
Wait. What the...
Uh-oh, guys. She had a Freudian slip. I'm pretty sure she meant to say pollution, considering she was talking about funding electric cars. But they got her, dude. They got her. She meant decrease population. That's what she meant. She accidentally let it slip, guys. She let it slip. Breaking news, guys. She let it slip.
More of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that. We're taking things that are...
I wonder why they cut that so fast. I wonder why he barely finished saying the word that before it cut. Curious.
You know, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
What the?
So in the next 5 to 10 years, for the next pandemic, we'll solve all those problems.
You say the next pandemic, there will be another pandemic.
Absolutely. We don't know when.
History teaches us that.
They got him, dude. How could he know there's going to be another pandemic unless they planned it? How could anyone know? It's actually insane because, like, the idea of COVID has been something we knew could happen. I was told in, like fifth grade, there could be a superbug one day that actually, like, Black Death's civilization. It could happen in your lifetime. We're due for it, is what I heard growing up in school, that we're due for another big pandemic that, like, fucks humanity. And I thought that was honestly unlikely in our modern society because it didn't really happen until I was fucking 20. But it happened. Oh, yeah, you're true. The teachers were in on it. They knew. They knew. Let's see what else we got. God, my nose. My nose. It be itching. RFK Jr. declares war on every aspect of American life that has the potential to cause chronic disease. This is exactly what America voted for.
An executive order to establish the Maha Commission to study what has caused the precipitous decline in American health over the past 2 generations.
They're going to get the
we will convene
chemtrails.
Representatives of all viewpoints to study the causes for the drastic rise in chronic disease.
I am the healthiest man in America.
Some of the possible factors we will investigate were formerly taboo or insufficiently scrutinized. The childhood vaccine schedule, electromagnetic radiation, glyphosate.
Like, RFK kind of gives me the same vibe as, like, in one of those, in, like, a movie where, like, a horse falls off of a cliff and is, like, mortally wounded, and it's just kind of, like, barely holding on, and it's like, it's like, will someone do something about that dumb cow? It's sad. Bro's just holding on. He's barely holding on, man. Give him, like, a Darth Vader mask and a respirator, bro. Give him something. Dear NASA, you've been faking it for over 50 years now. Time to come clean now, surely, isn't it? Guys, I'm telling you, Flat Earth, we're so close. We're so close. I love debunking Flat Earth, all right? I'm so ahead. I've been watching Flat Earth debunk videos since I was 13. It has been one of my favorite conspiracy obsessions to dunk on the people who believe that shit. The Republicans are so close to embracing Flat Earth. If it is an excuse to defund NASA, to claim all that was fake and that the moon landing was fake and all that, and to privatize it all, they'll say it. Trump and Elon will tell America that space is fake, the Earth is flat, and we should privatize the space industry entirely and just eliminate NASA. They will do it. We are so close to Flat Earth America.
This guy's doing a flip right here, and the guy next to him just reaches up and grabs a harness that's right on his hip.
I gotta pause it real quick. I'm gonna pause it because
that must have been
the
what he was
funniest part
grabbing.
to me. Well, there's several funny parts, by the way. But the lady in the back.
I love how what you can actually see is him grabbing the jumpsuit so he doesn't end up floating into something important. In microgravity, you keep the momentum that you have, and so if he pushes himself off the ceiling a little to the left, then he's going to continue floating until he hits the ground a little to the left. So if you're trying to stand up straight and relatively still, you kind of need a buddy to tug on you a little bit, because if you're floating a little to the left, you need some counter motion, because, you know, you need to have, like, a balancing out of the forces. So they're trying to stand there. His buddy is there to, like, help him steady himself after the flip so he can stand there and talk, because if he doesn't have, like, a leveling out of the momentum, he's just going to float away off camera and probably hit something important, to be fair. Like, I don't know. I watch a lot of space content. Like, any videos, I've seen all these videos. Like, their whole entire context. Every single bit of footage I can find of people out of their suits on the ISS, I obsessively have watched. There's, like, no footage I haven't seen. I love the old Skylab footage, bro. That shit goes hard. Like, obviously, I love space. Like, that shit goes hard as fuck. I've seen all these videos. Like, there's a reason why this shit's so cut down, too. Why they're not showing anywhere near the full wide range of the video, because you can see all around them. There are walls in the ceiling above them. You can see all of it.
His part, to me, well, there's several funny parts, by the way. But the lady in the background with the hair, it's like, did someone not think that like we've got to make her hair look like that, right? It's got to be standing up. Dude, this is hard as a rock. It's not moving. You know, it's like this is you must be in space. Look at her hair. Like, obviously, there's this thing called hairspray. So here goes this guy doing a backflip, and then
gravity just like gravity goes away. He must have found a pocket.
Gravity goes away and he fell.
Yeah.
Or he got caught up in the
You can still see him bouncing. I love how you can still see him bouncing like they all do in every video where they're trying to, like, not... Like, they're basically, like, bouncing back and forth in their feet. You really... It's hard to explain to people if they haven't experienced it, which I haven't, but I've seen it a lot. If you so much as, like, flick the wall of the ISS and curl up in a ball, you will float slowly in that direction almost indefinitely until the air friction slows you down to nothing. And so when they are, like, trying to stand up, they're either latching themselves to little, like, footholds they have, hand and footholds that are like straps they can just, like, stick their feet through and kind of, like, just chill out and not have to worry about floating off, because floating off is a big thing that happens on the ISS and the Tiangong space station, Chinese one, and it was a thing on Skylab too, where they had a big ass round, like, big fucking room, dude. Let me show you some of the Skylab footage. This is the kind of shit where I would actually be afraid of getting stuck floating in the center of the room if I don't have enough momentum to keep moving. Skylab footage. This is the, like, if you ever wanted to go up into a space station, the ISS seems cool, but this is the space station you would have wanted to go up in. It was a while ago, so it'd be scary, old technology and all that, but this was the one that would have been fun to go up in. The entire point of this space station was for the scientists to go up and have fun in 0G, just to see how it affects them. That was the experiment. That was the point of it. Go up and have fun in 0G. That's your job. Watch this. Look how fun this space station looks. When you see the inside, you'll know why. Remember those 0G rooms in Dead Space? Yeah, boy. This is the fucking space station, bro. That's the space station you want to go to. Fuck yeah. They have a track where they could go run circles. The entire point, this was built just to facilitate fucking around and playing in 0G. That was the whole point of Skylab, was just to fuck around in 0G and have fun. God, this is the one you want to go up in. ISS is cool, the Tiangong space station is cool, but they're scientists. They're up there doing experiments and rigorously typing up notes and just doing science, the boring data-related parts of science, and then going out of the station to do maintenance, which is scary in my opinion. This is what they were doing most of the day, as far as I know, on the Skylab. But yeah, a lot of this is just them fucking around, because, like, very few people had been in 0G before, and the whole point was for them to just have fun. So yeah. Very big fan of that kind of stuff. Anyway. Let's watch the rest of this insane shit.
Here comes the one with Senior.
Yeah.
In the background.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
And it's obviously a guy filming with a green tennis ball in front of a blue screen.
Right.
Hilariously, I've seen that video. Let me actually see if I can find it. Nope. Here's
It's or
a guy
domain, then
debunking
check
it.
out today's sponsor, Squarespace. Hello again, hope you're doing 6 from December 2015 until June 2016. In reality, what we're seeing here isn't even close to being used for some sort of special effects trickery. People are just jumping to that.
Flat Earthers genuinely see like a screen or like a cloth background to something and assume there must be like CGI at work.
Conclusion purely because Tim is standing in front of a big blue square space. No, a square space, not square space. I'm talking about blue screens, not what the best place is if
not
you
the sponsor,
want a
not the
website.
sponsor. We just wanna be
Making a
quick.
professional breakdown all of the.
Here's the video. I've seen this video and was trying to find this, but I think the point was to show off literally exactly the phenomenon I was talking about, where if you just let go of something, whatever momentum you let go of it with, it keeps traveling that way. And I think these squares were literally meant to like help you track the momentum, the direction, the speed, and all of that. I think this was just being used for a science experiment, if I remember right.
The reasons that this isn't a CGI
Oh,
screen.
yeah, it's on a string.
A green screen or a
They were swinging something around on a string. Newton's first law, this is what they were testing.
blue screen
microgravity.
creates a solid color backdrop behind actors to make it easier to add special effects and change the background. Editors can simply select the green or the blue within the footage and then replace it with something else, such as a new background. Without a screen, it would be a very cluttered background in the video that you'd have to go through very, very carefully and select what is old background versus what is the person or stuff that you want to. In this video is an experiment where he spins a green plastic ball around on some string and then lets go, and shows that the ball flies off in a straight line once the centripetal force of the string stops. And the ball travels into parts of the image.
Now, the only thing about the inside of the ISS is that it's not a vacuum. Not even close to a vacuum. It's highly pressurized, in fact, which means there's quite a bit of air friction, and that does mean that objects like this ball, whenever he lets go of it, it will slow over time, while in a perfect vacuum, or a near-perfect vacuum, it would theoretically just keep going with its momentum forever, with no friction whatsoever to absorb that energy. But there's not much in the air anyway, so a lot of the cool thing you get to see on the ISS is people letting go of things and watching as they just keep floating with inertia in that direction.
Outside of the blue screen. So the ball is unlikely to be CGI, and doing it in front of a blue screen is pointless if the things you're filming, like the ball or the person themselves, keep going off the screen. And whenever you watch VFX videos that show these screens being used during filming, the screens are always edited out in the final film. So straight off the bat, the fact that the screen is still there and the ball and Tim go beyond the screen shows.
Yeah, also, all these astronauts smile like people who are very happy to be in space, you know? Like, they're having a lot of fun. And they've made projects, like my favorite astronaut of all time is Chris Hadfield. He is a French-Canadian astronaut, if I'm not mistaken. At least I know he knows a lot of French, because he did a call with a school in Quebec, like a live call where he took questions. And several questions came in fully in French, and he just answered them fully in French. Maybe just a lot of Canadians just know French, but I assume he's from Quebec. He's awesome. He's goated. I love him. He did a video where he did a cover of Space Oddity, and it's just him, like, just singing, and it's a music video of him singing and playing the guitar. It goes hard as fuck. Hadfield mentioned, true. We love him. He goes hard as fuck. He's great. Anyway, now that we know the story behind that little video with the green ball and the blue screen, now we can continue with this insanity.
Clearly, I mean, it's not even...
And then here's a clip of what they turned it into.
Here's this water particle. Yep.
That's right, guys. Same video. Clearly.
Wow.
This guy just disappears like, oh, makes sense.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
You can literally see his shadow as he goes into a corner off, like into a different... You know how the ISS is shaped, right? It's like a big I, like a capital I. Like it's got a tube, then a connector, and then another tube. There are several points at which there are right turns, and you can even watch his shadow. Just watch his shadow.
Hey, I gotta go.
Just watch his shadow.
Yeah, we
You
got
can
back
see-
there. Another green screen.
You can see the effects of his shadow as he walks through there, or floats through there, not walks. Oh my god. I would feel sick with all my internal fluids swishing around in microgravity. That's what worries me about going to space, if I ever do, is like how much I totally might not be able to handle everything that is liquid in my body and not under a pressurized environment would react to zero gravity, you know? Like, particularly the inside of my stomach, you know? Like, how would that go? Never thought about that? They talk about it a lot on the ISS. Apparently you feel nauseous a lot, and you have to pee often.
And this guy...
The ones where they're doing the... he's hanging his shirt. Like, you can see, like... Yeah.
It's not even
You
good.
can clearly see the harness. It's like if you take your hands right now and you grab your shirt and you
a
just
harness
pull
on
out.
him.
Like it's...
Yeah.
This one's my favorite right
And the
here.
green
The guy
shirt?
goes to reach for...
Yeah.
Yeah, what a doofus.
But watch their thing at the end.
What a
I think this
doofus.
guy's always in it, man. He's the biggest
always
clown.
there.
Yeah.
He's the worst. Like, they gotta be like, hey, Bob, we gotta get you out of here, bro. Like, you're blowing our...
Look at this.
Let me reach up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, kung fu.
Here, I'm gonna pause it real quick.
I love how they're, like, seeing videos of people in an environment where there is no gravity grabbing onto things to steady themselves, and they're like, having a hard time with those harnesses. Like, these people are fucking clowns, bro. But, like, does this not come off, like, a lot like watching your average conservative podcast clip, though? The way they talk, the way they're so incredulous about people that aren't as insane as them. Like, we're so close, dude. We're so close to Flat Earth being the right-wing standard. I mean, the popular right-wing accounts are now posting Flat Earth shit. They want Doge to defund NASA. All right, let's see. One more. We'll do one more. I have one left, okay? I have one more video I wanted to show you guys. Mind you, so far, this is 12 hours of his posts. We have only gone back 12 hours, and I've shown you only, like, 10% of the posts he's made in those 12 hours. I'm scrolling back to this morning, like early this morning, because the first post I saw from him today was what made me decide I was doing this segment today, and it's one of the most unhinged but popular conspiracy theories right now. God, he posts so much. He posts so fucking much. It's actually insane. Let's see. Excuse me. Did the video get taken down or something? Why can't I find it all of a sudden? Latest. Maybe if I sort by latest. God, Twitter sucks now. God, Twitter sucks now. 1 sec. Here we go. Thankfully, the tweet has been community noted, but it still got an immense amount of traction and got pushed on my For You page. This is how I discovered this account. This massive right-wing conspiracy account. Up close and extremely personal, in a cloud-seeding plane over the United Arab Emirates, aka Dubai. One of the few countries in the world that actually does cloud seeding. But it's just a conspiracy theory, eye-rolling emoji. That's right, guys, because all these experts have been saying cloud seeding isn't even real. That's been what we've been saying. Not that cloud seeding literally makes clouds start raining that already exist. Not literally creates clouds. But let's watch.
Let's see some clouds. Look at this. So I flip this to L2, and then I bring this to 1.
So this is how they cloud seed.
And fire. Now look at that.
got the TikTok conspiracy post music going.
Let's see some clouds.
Making it rain. And of course, it did get community noted. Cloud seeding has never been denied. This is a perfect explanatory video. Note the short trail and the aircraft is flying through cumulus clouds. Cloud seeding does not create clouds, it forces established clouds to precipitate. Long lines in a cloudless sky is not cloud seeding. Well, as Joe Rogan has said, fact checkers need to be banned. It should honestly be illegal to fact check, according to Joe Rogan. I wonder if Elon Musk will actually follow through on that and eliminate community notes as a feature. I feel like there's no reason for him not to at this point. It's only holding back the blatant purpose of Twitter, which is to, like, ban the truth, to suppress it, and to replace the truth in the popular perception with just insane conspiracies like what we've been going over today. But yeah, if you've thought about joining Twitter or coming back to Twitter, I hope that you are aware that this is all the site is now. It has truly fallen off, but not just that. This is where the Republican Party and conservative voters are going right now. This is what they're looking at. This is where they're getting their news. This is the shit they believe. They are truly cooked. They are truly cooked. And I cannot wait for them to start openly pushing Flat Earth. That's what I'm waiting for now. Anyway, if you enjoyed this segment, if you found it entertaining, enjoyable, or educational in any way, then consider leaving a like and a comment. Both things help immensely, and if you do both on all my new uploads and my streams, it's the best way in the world to support my content. Really. It's totally free, no money out of your pocket, takes half a second, and immensely boosts the channel and the algorithm. There is no better way to support the channel than that. So I really appreciate all the likes, I appreciate all the comments. Thank you to everyone who hits that subscribe button and rings the bell icon to turn on all notifications so that YouTube actually tells them when I go live or upload new videos. You can also follow my social medias, linked down below in the description, to see my other activity on other platforms, what I post and what I say, including my fan Discord, which is the main hub of my community and fan base. And finally, if you want to support me directly, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website chat, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or you can even buy some custom Xander Hall merch through the Xander Hall, or through the Streamlabs /Xander Hall merch link down below in the description. Regardless of how you support me though, even if you're a lurker, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again.